John Pierpont Morgan was born on April 17, 1837 in Hartford, Connecticut. He was destined for a world of finance from a very young age. His father, Junior Spencer Morgan, was a very successful international banker who had established a powerful firm in London. This connection gave Pierpont an incredible advantage, placing him in the center of global finance and commerce. His family's wealth and influence meant that he received the best education possible, designed specifically to prepare him for the complex world of money and business that he would one day dominate. He was not just expected to follow in his father's footsteps, he was expected to build an even greater empire. His formal education was extensive and tailored to a future in international business. He first attended the English High School of Boston, which was known for its rigorous curriculum. After graduating, he was sent to Europe to complete his studies, a common practice for the sons of America's elite families. He traveled to a boarding school in Switzerland and then enrolled at the prestigious University of Göttingen in Germany. There, he perfected his German and French and gained a deep understanding of European culture and art history. This international experience provided him with a global perspective that would become invaluable in his later career as a financier. After completing his education in 1857, J.P. Morgan began his career in the banking industry. He started as an accountant in New York City, working for a firm with ties to his father's London business. This was his apprenticeship, where he learned the practical day-to-day operations of banking. He was a quick study, with a sharp mind for numbers and a commanding presence that made people take notice. He did not remain a simple employee for long. Driven by immense ambition, he sought to create his own path, using his father's connections to establish his own financial ventures and partnerships, slowly building his reputation as a formidable and trustworthy banker. Morgan's rise to power was not just about his family name, it was about his unique ability to see opportunities and organize complex deals that others found too daunting. He had a talent for bringing order to chaos, a skill that became his trademark. In the rapidly industrializing America of the late 19th century, many industries like the railroads were overbuilt and fiercely competitive, leading to financial instability. Morgan stepped in, forcing competing companies to consolidate and cooperate under his control, a process that became known as Morganization. This method stabilized industries, eliminated wasteful competition, and, most importantly, concentrated immense power and profit in his hands. J.P. Morgan's influence extended far beyond simple banking. He became a primary architect of modern American industry. He believed that large, consolidated corporations were more efficient and stable than smaller, competing firms. He put this belief into practice on an unprecedented scale. One of his most famous achievements was the creation of U.S. Steel in 1901. He engineered the purchase of Andrew Carnegie's massive steel company and merged it with several other steel producers. The result was the world's first billion-dollar corporation, a colossal entity that controlled a huge portion of the nation's steel production and demonstrated Morgan's unmatched power to reshape entire sectors of the economy. Another monumental creation was General Electric. The late 19th century was the dawn of the electrical age, and the brilliant inventor Thomas Edison was at the forefront. However, Edison's company, Edison General Electric, faced stiff competition and financial challenges. In 1892, Morgan arranged a merger between Edison's company and its main rival, the Thomson-Houston Electric Company. This strategic consolidation created the industrial giant known as General Electric. Morgan's role was crucial. He provided the financial backing and organizational structure that allowed the new company to thrive, electrifying America and becoming a global leader in innovation for more than a century. Morgan's power was so immense that he was able to act as a central bank for the United States before one even existed. The country faced several severe financial crises during his lifetime, and on more than one occasion the U.S. government turned to him for help. During the Panic of 1895, the U.S. Treasury was running dangerously low on gold, threatening the stability of the entire economy. Morgan organized a syndicate of bankers to supply the government with over $60 million in gold, effectively saving the country from default. This act demonstrated that his personal influence was arguably greater than that of the government itself in financial matters. He played a similar role during the Panic of 1907. when a series of bank failures threatened to spiral into a full-blown economic collapse. Wall Street looked to Morgan for leadership. He famously gathered the nation's top financiers in his library, locking them in until they agreed to pool their resources and shore up the fragile banking system. He personally directed where the money should go, deciding which institutions to save and which to let fail. While his actions stopped the panic, they also highlighted the immense danger of having one private citizen wield so much control over the nation's financial destiny, leading to calls for reform. Beyond the world of finance and industry, J.P. Morgan nurtured a deep and abiding passion for collecting beautiful and important objects. He was not just a banker, he was one of the greatest collectors of art, manuscripts, and rare books in history. He used his immense fortune to acquire priceless treasures from around the globe, driven by a desire to bring the best of human culture to America. His collection was vast and diverse, including everything from medieval illuminated manuscripts and ancient artifacts to paintings by old masters like Rembrandt and Raphael. He saw himself as a custodian of history, preserving these items for future generations. To house his growing collection, Morgan decided to build a library next to his home on Madison Avenue in New York City. This was not to be an ordinary library. He commissioned the renowned architect Charles Follen McKim to design a magnificent building, a marble masterpiece inspired by the Italian Renaissance. Completed in 1906, the building was a work of art in itself, a perfect sanctuary for the treasures it held within. The library was his private retreat, a place where he could immerse himself in history and beauty. Away from the frantic pace of Wall Street, it was a physical manifestation of his love for knowledge and culture. Organizing such a vast and valuable collection was a monumental task, and Morgan knew he needed an expert. In 1905, he hired a brilliant and dynamic young woman named Belle DeCosta Green to be his personal librarian. Green was exceptionally knowledgeable and had a keen eye for rare books and manuscripts. She quickly became Morgan's most trusted advisor, traveling across Europe to bid at auctions and acquiring some of the library's most important pieces. Her intelligence and sharp negotiating skills were legendary, and she was instrumental in shaping the collection into the world-class institution it is today. After J.P. Morgan's death in 1913, his son Jack Morgan recognized that his father's collection was too important to remain in private hands. Following his father's wishes, he transformed the private library into a public institution. In 1924, the Pierpont Morgan Library was officially opened to the public, with Belle DeCosta Green serving as its first director. This act ensured that Morgan's legacy would not just be one of finance, but also one of profound cultural generosity. The library, now known as the Morgan Library and Museum, remains one of New York City's greatest cultural treasures, a testament to one man's incredible passion for collecting. J.P. Morgan's legacy is complex and continues to be debated more than a century after his death in 1913. He is remembered as one of the most powerful figures in American history, a man who shaped the economic landscape of the Gilded Age. His name is synonymous with immense wealth and influence, and the financial institution he helped build, J.P. Morgan Chase & Company, remains a dominant force in global banking today. He represents the pinnacle of American capitalism, a titan who built industries, financed innovation, and wielded power on a scale that is difficult to imagine in the modern era. His life story is a lesson in the power of ambition and strategic vision. However, he is also remembered for the controversies his power created. To his critics, he was a robber baron, a monopolist who crushed competition and concentrated wealth in the hands of a select few. His methods of Morganization, while bringing stability, often resulted in huge profits for himself and his partners at the expense of smaller businesses and workers. The immense control he held over the nation's finances raised serious questions about democracy and the role of private wealth in public affairs. The financial panics he helped stop also served as proof that the system he dominated was dangerously unregulated, ultimately leading to the creation of the Federal Reserve System in 1913. His cultural contributions, however, cast him in a different light. As a great patron of the arts, he enriched America's cultural life immeasurably. He served as president of the Metropolitan Museum of Art and donated countless works from his personal collection. The Morgan Library and Museum stands as his most personal and enduring gift to the public, a place where anyone can experience the beauty and intellectual wonder of the rare books and manuscripts he so dearly loved. This legacy shows a different side of the ruthless financier, a man with a deep appreciation for history, beauty, and the enduring power of human creativity. Ultimately, J.P. Morgan is still remembered today because he embodies the great contradictions of his time. He was both a builder and a monopolist, a savior of the economy and a symbol of its excesses. He demonstrated the incredible potential of capitalism to create progress and wealth, but also its potential for unchecked power and inequality. His life forces us to consider the proper relationship between private wealth and the public good, a question that remains just as relevant today as it was in the Gilded Age. His shadow looms large over American history, a constant reminder of the man who organized industries, rescued a government, and built a library for the ages.